Solve the equation a half into 7x minus 2 plus 5 equals 2x plus 7. Well, we could multiply a half into 7x minus 2 and get 7 over 2x minus 1. Or we could multiply the whole lot by 2. So there are two ways we could start off solving this equation. What I will do is multiply all of this equation by 2. 2 times a half is 1. And then we have 1 times 7x minus 2. 2 times plus 5 is plus 10. Then we multiply the right hand side by 2. 2 times 2x is 4x. 2 times 7 is 14. So I just multiplied it all by 2 to get rid of this half. So 2 times a half was 1, and then we have 1 into 7x minus 2. Well, that's just 7x minus 2. And we must multiply 2 by everything else, of course. We can just ignore these brackets now, because we've only 1 in front of this multiplied, so we can forget that. So I bring x's to one side. 7x minus 4x is 3x. And I'll bring numbers to the right hand side. We've plus 14 already on the right hand side. 10 minus 2 is 8 on the left. Bring it over, becomes minus 8. So we get 3x equals 14 minus 8 is 6. So x equals 6 divided by 3 is 2. If you want to do a check, you don't have to do it, but I've done it here. You plug 2 in for x, so we have 7 times 2, which is 14. 14 minus 2 is 12. A half of 12 is 6. And then we have 6 plus 5 is 11. So that's the left hand side. We get 11 when we plug 2 in for x. Let's look at the right hand side. The right hand side is 2x plus 7. So we plug 2 in for x. But this is on the right hand side. We have 2 2s are 4. 4 plus 7 is 11. So that's the right hand side. So left hand side equals right hand side. So x equals 2 is the correct solution. Solve the equation 2 over 3x minus 4 minus 1 over 2x plus 1 equals a half, and give your answers correct to one decimal place. Now, with this type of an equation, what we try to do is get rid of denominators. So we multiply the entire equation by all the denominators. So what we do is we multiply the whole equation by 3x minus 4 times 2x plus 1 times 2. These are the denominators. So we stick this quantity in front of each fraction. So let's do that. Stick it in front of the first fraction. Then we have it in front of the second fraction. Okay, so this is the left hand side. And of course, on the right hand side, we have to multiply 3x minus 4 times 2x plus 1 times 2 times a half. So that's the right hand side. So what I've done here is I've stuck this quantity in front of each term in this equation. Well, by term I mean each fraction in this equation. Okay, so why do we do that? Well, first of all, we haven't changed anything because we're multiplying the entire equation by the same thing. But by choosing to multiply the entire equation by the product of the denominators, we can now cancel out these denominators. We have a 3x minus 4 above the line, we have a 3x minus 4 underneath the line. They cancel out, so we just get 1 underneath the line. Similarly here, we can cancel out this 2x plus 1. 2x plus 1 divided by 2x plus 1 is 1. And similarly here, we can cancel this 2. So now we've got the equation into a straight line. So we write down what's left. We have 2x plus 1 times 2 times 2. That's 2x plus 1 by 4. And we have a minus sign here. What have we left here? We have 3x minus 4 by 2. And what have we got on the right hand side? We have 3x minus 4 by 2x plus 1. Okay, multiplying this out, we get, I'll write it over here, 4 times 2x is 8x, 4 times 1 is 4. We have minus 2 into this, minus 2 by plus 3x is minus 6x. We have the minus 2 by minus 4 is plus 8. on the right hand side, we have 3x by 2x plus 1. 3x by 2x is 6x squared. 3x by 1 is plus 3x. Then we multiply minus 4 into these two terms. Minus 4 by 2x is minus 8x. Minus 4 by plus 1 is minus 4. You see now we have a quadratic equation because we've got an x squared term. So we can get this equation into the standard form of a quadratic equation. That means we want 0 on one side. It'll be easier to put 0 on the left hand side here because the x squared term is already on the right hand side. So 6x squared, the x squared term is written first. Then we write down the x term. So what is that? Well, we've plus 3x minus 8x. That's minus 5x. So when we put these two together, we get minus 5x. We bring the plus 8x over, we get minus 8x. Minus 5 minus 8 is minus 13x. We must bring that minus 6x over as well, actually. Let's see now. We've plus 8 minus 6 on the left hand side. Plus 8 minus 6 is plus 2x. Bring the plus 2x over. We've minus 5 minus 2 is minus 7x. We've 8 plus 4 is 12. Bring the plus 12 over. Becomes minus 12. Minus 12 minus 4 is minus 16. Now, we have our quadratic equation. It's in standard form. We have an x squared term, an x term, a constant term equals 0. So I'm going to use a formula to solve this. Quadratic equation formula. A, the coefficient of x squared is 6. B, the coefficient of x is minus 7. C, the constant term, is minus 16. So we know that x is equal to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So we've minus b, that's minus minus 7, that's plus 7, plus or minus the square root of b squared. Minus 7 squared is plus 49, minus 4 times a, which is 6, times c, which is minus 16. And all of this is divided by 2 times a, that's 2 times 6. Okay, you go to your calculator, plug the discriminant into the calculator. The discriminant is b squared minus 4ac. What's inside the square root sign? 49 minus 4 times 6 times minus 16. That's 433. We want to get the square root of this number. So we want our final answer to be correct to 1 decimal place. So I won't round this to 1 decimal place. I'll round it to more than 1 decimal place, and at the very end we'll round the final answer to 1 decimal place. So I might write this down to 2 or 3 decimal places. I'll write it down to 3 decimal places. So it's going to be 20.809. And this is divided by 2 times 6, which is 12. So there's going to be 2 answers, depending on whether we take the plus sign or the minus sign. Let's take the plus sign here. So we have this number here, 20.809. I'll leave it as it is, and I'll add on 7. And divide this by 12. Now, let's round this to 1 decimal place. We get 2.3. Next we take the minus sign. So we have 7 minus 20.809. Get the answer to that, then divide it by 12. To 1 decimal place we have minus 1.2. As an aside, I checked one of the solutions. I checked x equals 2.3, and that means I plugged 2.3 in for x. I worked out the left hand side here, and I got a number that was actually very close to a half. I'm not going to get exactly a half because remember, this solution has been rounded to 1 decimal place. I didn't check this one. I presume it's right.